This campaign is about prioritizing, it's about results, and it's about common sense. You know, I believe that we can prioritize by taking our government, and it's a lot easier at the county level than at the national level. But we can take our county government back to its core functions. Now, in my mind, those core functions at the local level would include upholding the U.S. Constitution and the North Carolina Constitution, public education, infrastructure, protecting our environment and our natural resources, and providing a basic safety net for those citizens who cannot provide for themselves. Now, very often, we get drawn into a conversation about how can government do something more efficiently. Well, before we get into that conversation, we need to ask the question, should government be doing it at all? Because what we're going to find is that, first of all, this myth that something won't get done just because government doesn't do it is in fact a myth. What we find is that very often we can get the same goal accomplished much more efficiently and at the least amount of intrusiveness by government getting out of the area altogether. Now, we can't talk about all of our solutions and challenges in the few minutes we've got here, but I do want to just talk quickly about, I mentioned the North Carolina Constitution in addition to the U.S. Constitution. And they're very similar, which you would expect. But the North Carolina Constitution starts out with Article 1. It goes something like this. We hold it to be self-evident that all persons are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator to certain inalienable rights. Those rights include life, liberty, the enjoyment of the fruits of their own labor, and the pursuit of happiness. The enjoyment of the fruits of their own labor. Notice it does not say that we have the right to the enjoyment of the fruits of someone else's labor. So that line is in there on purpose. The framers of the North Carolina Constitution understood that it was very important that as we develop our spending and our taxing and our land use policies, that we bear that in mind so as not to unnecessarily infringe on that right. All right? And we can do that. We can prioritize, and I'll just give you one example. I heard a quote once, and I apologize, I don't remember who said it, but it goes, if we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. So let's apply that to the budget. Right now, we use what's called an incremental-based budget. We need to change the way we look at that and move to a zero-based budget. In an incremental-based budget, what we use now, every single dime that was spent last year, every single program that was in place, is automatically assumed to be justified. This leads to this spend it or lose it mentality. It gives little to no consideration whether a policy or an expenditure is actually necessary or if it's obsolete. A zero-based budget, on the other hand, starts every year zero. Every department head has to justify every expenditure, every policy, every year. What that allows us to do is allocate funds where they're needed, where they're a high priority, and allow us to cut overall spending. So that's just one difference by looking at something different that we can do. We've got 5 county commissioners. All of them think alike. We need to expand the thinking on the Board of Commissioners. Whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, or an independent, you would have to agree that if everybody's thinking alike, somebody's not thinking. So let's expand the possible solutions to our problems. Let's come at it from different angles, and let's get some diversity of thought onto our Board of Commissioners. Thank you.